Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. I want to entitle this, The Second Woe is Past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Now, a lot of people may not be aware, but Russia has sent a submarine and a number of warships over there off the coast of Cuba, which is setting up for World War III. Now, Russia has been threatening Babylon the Great, the U.S., about sending different missiles and weapons to their allies and to people who are against this place, so they can do what they will. But basically, this is just the Lord setting up everything He said He would set up to bring about biblical prophecy. So the fact that Russia is sending warships and has a submarine down there on Cuba and is willing to give out different weapons to other countries, it's just all setting up for biblical prophecy. And as you can see, the Lord is moving the pieces on the chessboard. Now, they may think that they're making the moves, Russia, the U.S., and all of these different other countries. They're not making the moves. See, a lot of people don't understand. The Lord said He is a man of war. He is a man of war. And all of these things that are setting up that you see happening over there, whether it's over there in Israel, or over there in Russia, Ukraine, or over there in China. China's talking about attacking Taiwan. All of these things is what the Lord is setting up. None of us is in control of none of this stuff. Not the people, not the players on the deck, and not the ones, even us, who's prophesying about it. Everybody is doing what the Lord said we would be doing, and they're no different. So when we see these things like Russia sending warships and nuclear submarine over there off the coast of Cuba, we see that the Lord's prophecies are just moving forward, period. And it's exciting because we know all the prophecies are going to come to pass and can't nobody stop them. So every time we see things like this happening in Russia and U.S. making moves like this is all just part of prophecy. And for all and a lot of people who have heard about this, they might not understand what the hell is going on. As we know, other prophecies have to take place first before there is a third world war. And what you asked people in the past, they've told you no, they're gonna come up with some agreement and some plans, and they're gonna avoid the third world war. Well, they don't understand biblical prophecy. The Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua said there will be a third world war, and that's exactly what it's going to be. The war to end all wars. This third world war is going to be nuclear, and the Lord is setting it up. Ultimately, this place, this kingdom, Esau's wicked world, his kingdom that he's ruling in right now, the Lord is getting ready to destroy it, and that's why you see all of these things happening. Even with the famines and the droughts and the floods and the crazy weather, people are seeing tornadoes hitting places, taking out people. You name it, all kinds of things are happening. Earthquakes happening, major earthquakes all over the world. That's because we're at the end of this thing. And that's what it's all about. We watching and we telling you that the Lord is bringing about His prophecies and that we at the end of this thing. Now, I'm gonna start out. First of all, it's been in the news, so I'm gonna pull this up real quick, and then I'm gonna get this article. See, if you just pull up Cuba all of this news will come out. This is ABC News. It says Pentagon downplays Russian warships arriving to Cuba. Of course, because this is a proud devil. He's downplaying it as if he's in control. But the Lord, 𤤀𤌅𐤍, ultimately is in control. It says, Fox News, Putin's fleet of warships in Cuba is direct warning to Biden, experts say. CNN, Russia ships arrive at Cuba as Cold War allies strengthen their ties. Miami Herald, which is the article I want to bring out, it says Russia warships, nuclear submarines enter Havana harbor under watch of U.S. destroyers. Business Insider, Russian submarine in Cuba is one U.S. NATO is worried about for years. They don't sleep on that sub. See, these subs are nuclear. A lot of these subs that these different countries like Russia have, and the U.S. and all the major players, they have many subs out there in the oceans, strategically set. See, these things are happening right before our eyes. It says, Barron's. It says Russia nuclear powered submarine arrives in Cuba. See, this is real. This thing is nuclear powered. It says photos show Russia submarine ships arrive in Cuba. This is the CBS News. Arrive in Cuba ahead of Caribbean military exercises. And you can see it goes on and on. Reuters, it says in pictures, Russia warships entering the Cuba harbor. So this thing is real. The Hill, Russia again flexes its nuclear missiles in Cuba. So everything is moving forward. It's never going back. Nothing is never going back. Everything is finna get bad. See, you got Jacob's trouble coming. Jacob's trouble. And it's going to be bad. A lot of people don't understand that the Lord is bringing about all of these evils because we're at the end, and all these judgments must go out. You 2/3 Jakes, you're going to get your judgment. You heathens going to get your judgment. And ultimately, Esau is going to get his judgment. He's going to get the major judgment. See, because this place is about to get hit by thermonuclear destruction. And the Lord is he's coming back on that he's coming back during that third World War when it first pop off, when it first launch off. Then 𤤀𤌅 is gonna crack the skies with the host of angels, and they're gonna be shooting concentrated laser beams of fire. So it's finna get crazy, and ain't nothing going back. It's finna be a lot of people taken out in big numbers, leading up to that third World War. Now, the article I'm going to read a little bit of it. This is out of the Miami Herald. It says, Russian warships, nuclear submarine enter Havana harbor under watch of U.S. destroyers. So you think this is a game? This is real. This is real. It says, a group of Russian warships that sail close to Florida shores, closely watched by U.S. destroyers, entered the port of Havana on Wednesday morning ahead of Russian military exercises in the Caribbean. It says Cuban Revolutionary Armed Forces officials, including the deputy commander of the U.S. Revolutionary Navy of Cuba, Captain Jose Luis Soto, it says the Russian ambassador of Cuba, Victor Corneli, and a crowd of Russian tourists and curious Cubans gathered at the Melcon, the famous Havana seaside promenade, to watch the Russian missile frigate Admiral Gorshov enter the port amid a 21-gun salute. So everybody is getting ready for war. All of these countries are getting ready for war. And Russia has been warning that they're going to be doing these things that you see happening. But we understand that it's not going to be a third world war. It's not going to pop off until other major prophecies come to pass. It says early on Wednesday, the top nuclear-powered submarine Kazan was visible outside Havana Harbor before it submerged again. Cuban independent media 14Y Media reported. The official Russian government news agency TASS reported Wednesday that the 𝐤𝐤𐐅, the modern nuclear submarine, is capable of quietly approaching U.S. shores within 50 kilomiles, and creating outside. It says, and carrying and assigned combat missions, according to Mikhail Budnitnikov. It says the head Sevmesh, the company that built it. Open source satellite data placed the Russian warships just 26 nautical miles from 𝐤𝐿𝐼𝐼 on Tuesday morning. So this thing is set. See, they're positioning all of their ships and nuclear subs all around where they need to put them. Babylon the Great is doing what they need to do. They're setting up where they need to set up in all these other countries. They're positioning themselves to be ready. Why? Because this is the will of the Lord, 𐤀𐤌𐤅𐐍. This is the will that these things happen. While most people might not understand it, we understand this prophecy. These things have to come to pass in order to bring about all of the Lord's prophecies of the third world's war and Yahushua ultimately coming back. And that's what we're waiting on. So we see these things setting up. We know we're just getting closer and closer to the end of this thing. Now, I want to play a few video clips and we'll get some scriptures. I'll play this one first. Showing these Russian ships over there off the coast of Cuba. You see it? This thing is real. And this is no game. Several Russian warships have just arrived at Havana Harbor and docked there. You see? And the U.S. is watching. So everything is on heightened alert right about now. Everything's on heightened alert. We see the Lord moving things right along, just like he said he would. But Third World War will not pop off until other prophecies, major prophecies will happen. Which, this is just setting up and preparing for that Third World War, which ultimately is going to happen, whether people believe it or not. Let me get this next clip here.
Breaking news coming out today that major attacks against 3 U.S. cities, Los Angeles, New York, and Philadelphia, have been stopped as 8 individuals that crossed from the southern border into the U.S. that were planning these coordinated bombing attacks, they have been arrested.
Officials tell CBS News the individuals were from Tajikistan and were arrested in New York, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles. They allegedly crossed the U.S.-Mexico border last year and this year.
Now, I'm going to share with you the video footage and the articles so that way you can see it for yourself. And in addition to that, stick around because I've shared with you the list of cities on the watch list coming from the FBI where they know there are sleeper cell groups there that are planning coordinated attacks. They're keeping an eye on them, and hopefully we're going to be seeing more arrests taking place so that way we can thwart any potential attacks that we've heard will be coming. And these warnings coming out from the FBI for the last several months, and the most recent one you're going to see just 8 days ago.
See, news like this, it just proves what we've been saying all along. I did videos on this, how all of these people crossing the border wasn't just people trying to come over here and make a life or to try to make it in America, Babylon the Great. A lot of those people that crossed from over the border, especially down there during the Texas border down there by Mexico, a lot of those was people set up from UN troops. It was sleeper cells of people set up to come over here and just wait to get the call along with those UN troops, because there will be civil war out here and they're going to have troops out here. And then a lot of them were just basically criminals. We know that Venezuela emptied their prisons. They crossed over. So a lot of different types of people for different reasons have crossed over during the past, a lot of them over the past 3 or 4 years in mass numbers. So you got millions of people here from all over the world. And most people in Babylon, they don't even know it. They don't even realize everything is all set up. So when everything started popping off, we're going to see it coming before it comes. But a lot of people they don't know what the hell is going on. They're not going to know what's going on. They're not going to know why and how all of these things are happening and how things got set up so fast. That's because they weren't watching. Things are being set up. They've been being set up. See, but a lot of people not watching. And so it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. I'm going to end with this next video and then we'll get some scriptures.
Kremlin yesterday warning that Western nations supplying Ukraine with weapons will face retaliation. Also, that Moscow could provide long-range weapons to its allies to hit Western targets in response. So the threats are many coming from Putin. He also would not rule out using nuclear weapons.
Russian President Vladimir Putin warns again that Russia is considering sending weapons to the adversaries of the United States. And this is in response to the U.S. providing Ukraine with missiles to strike Russia. Russia now saying, if you are doing that, why can't we do the same and send it to your enemies? Now, I shared with you live yesterday that we received a list of various nations of which Russia is considering doing this. Some of the ones that were mentioned was Venezuela, Cuba, North Korea, Yemen, Iran, Serbia, Nicaragua, and Mexico. And in addition to that, we're hearing that Belarus is running alongside of Russia the second stage of tactical nuclear weapons drills in response to the Western provocation. Tactical nuclear weapons include air bombs, warheads for short-range missiles, and artillery munitions as well. So I'm going to be sharing with you the latest video footage and articles coming out on this, getting you caught up as to what has been unfolding with Russia threatening the United States, saying that they're going to be sending weapons, even potentially nuclear weapons, to our enemies and allowing them to do with it what they wish.
Just like I mentioned earlier, Russia is going to send different military weapons over to their allies all around the world and strategic positions. See, Babylon the Great is on their radar. This thing is heating up and it's not going back. Just like in Ezekiel 38, the Lord said he gonna turn them back. He gonna turn the Russia over there, gonna turn them back and put hooks in their jaws, just like during the time of the USSR. That's the mode they're being put in. The Lord is pulling them back to that. So they really geared up for war. The threats that Putin is making are not just threats. They're very serious about it. Why? Because the Lord put the Spirit on them. The Lord has put the Spirit on all these nations to prepare and get ready for war. See, this is the Lord moving all of the pieces just like he said he would to make sure that all of these prophecies come to pass. So when we see these things, we know we're getting closer to the end of this thing. Ultimately, we want to be delivered out of this destruction that's coming. And we want to be put in the kingdom. We want to be in the kingdom. We're tired of being in the situation that we're in. You know, being at the bottom, suffering, going through all of these different curses that we've been put through. We're ready for the Lord now. Hey, we repenting. We repent to the Lord, 𝐤𝐿. And that's what we all should be doing. You should be repenting to the Lord, 𝐤𝐿. You should be praying. This is a very serious time in history. And it's going to be like none other. This is the time to get closer to the Lord, 𝐤𝐿, because things are about to get real bad. Things are about to get real bad. Now, let's get some scriptures. Let's start out in the book of Matthew, St. Matthew. This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 6. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. That's what we're seeing now. We're hearing of the wars. We know that there's wars going on. There's rumors of wars. Everybody is setting up, preparing for war. So everything is right on point on what the Lord said would be happening in the last days. It says, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And that's the point. Even though we see Russia setting up and U.S. setting up, they putting their destroyers down there on the coast of Cuba, and Russia sending submarines and warships. Hey, we're not troubled by this. We know that these have to come to pass before the end comes. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And we've been seeing all of these things. Nations have been rising up against nations, kingdoms against kingdoms. There's been famines going on around the world, and it's a big famine setting up right here in Babylon the Great, whether people realize it or not. The pestilences, we already had the C9, and they're talking about other things, talking about birds and all these different things is being cooked up. Those are the pestilences that the Lord said would be happening. The earthquakes in diverse places, we're getting earthquakes all over the place. This is all biblical prophecy lining up perfectly. It says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Everything that we've been seeing, everything we've been saying about what's happening in the world, these are just the beginning of sorrows. This is nothing compared to how bad it's going to get, especially during the time of Jacob's trouble, a time of trouble that there's never been. There's never been a time of trouble like what's coming in the time of Jacob's trouble, where you're going to have all kind of chaos and mayhem, death, people being taken out all kind of ways. It's going to be great miseries. See, great miseries that this world has never seen is finna happen to a lot of people. Now from there, let's get this in Esdras. Let's get this second Esdras. Chapter 16 and verse 18. Second Esdras chapter 16 and verse 18. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. And what shall I do when these evils shall come? So the prophet Esdras, he already knew thousands of years ago that the things we are about to witness and the things we have been witnessing and seeing, he knew it was going to happen. Why? Because the Lord revealed to him these prophecies. See, just like in Matthew chapter 24, 𝐤𝐿 know the prophecies. And this is like it said in Matthew 24, the beginning of sorrows, the beginning of mournings. See, this is just the beginning. The beginning of famine and great death. Man, it's finna be bad out here. People don't realize the scope and the level that the Lord's finna bring all kind of evils. The beginning of evils. Man, it's going to be really, really serious out here. It's going to be so much death. The scriptures say the bodies are going to be thrown out like dung, like crap, all over the place. It's going to be smelling. It's going to be spoiling and rotten. It's going to be the stench of death in the air out here real soon. Verse 19, behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. See, the Lord's already been warning you with all of the things that have already been happening. All of the plagues, the C9, when that came out, that was a warning to get you woke, supposedly, like, wait a minute, the whole world shut down. maybe I need to turn to the Lord. See, maybe I need to repent. Maybe it's time for me to turn from my wickedness. But the only ones that's going to heed the message and the only ones that's going to turn and turn their life and get out of that wickedness that they've been in is the elect. See, the elect of Israel is that remnant. That's why we call ourselves the hopeful elect. We're hopeful that the Lord has put us in the book of life and that we are of the elect. We are of that number to be delivered. Because as you can see, it's going to be great death and all kind of things are about to hit this place. Many, many plagues on another level that this world has never seen. Now from there, let's go back to the book of St. Matthew. This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 21. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 21. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor shall ever be." And that's talking about Jacob's trouble. We're talking about the most serious time ever that has ever been on the earth. And there's been a lot of bad things happening, all kind of famines and deaths and pestilences, all kind of earthquakes, all kind of disasters and all kind of wars has happened in the past. But the time that's coming, it's going to be all that rolled into one. All of the stops are about to be pulled out for this great tribulation. And the Lord said it's going to be great tribulation. It's definitely what's going to happen. You best believe it's going to be a great tribulation. Verse 22, "And except those days be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved." See, that's how bad it's going to get out here. It's going to be so much death and people dying and getting taken out so quickly. The Lord is going to have to shorten the days, in which he has. See, the time has been speeding up. The Lord has been speeding up these days. Everything's moving quicker. We're already in June. It don't even feel like 6 months went by. See, even your average person will tell you that the time is sped up. Everything is moving fast. The Lord's not playing. He's finna bring these prophecies to pass, and things are getting ready to move even faster. It says, "But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened." So that's the level that it's going to be out here. It's going to be so bad. It's going to be so bad that the Lord has shortened the days, and he's going to keep shortening these days so that the elect, would make it through this destruction and the death and all of the plagues and the sorrows and all of the famines and everything that the Lord is bringing. He's going to have to shorten the days. So you should get prepared. Be prepared mentally and spiritually. Continue to pray to the Lord, 𝐤𝐻𝐼, and that you be one of the ones that's on his list to be protected and saved and delivered from the said destruction. Now let's go here to the title. This is Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. It says, "The second woe is past," talking about the Second World War. That's already passed. See, this prophecy was written over 2,000 years ago. And World War I hadn't happened yet. World War II hadn't happened yet. And World War III hadn't happened. But yet and still, the Lord already called this thing from the beginning. That was destined to happen. World War I and World War II, that was destined to happen, along with World War III. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly. The third woe is talking about the Third World War. The war to end all wars. This war is going to be nuclear. See, these nations are not going to be playing with sticks and stones and helmets and shields. This thing is going to be nuclear. All of these countries that has the capability about to launch those nukes. And that's the time we're coming into. And that's why you see things like Russia setting up ships and submarines and Babylon setting up different destroyer ships and things. All of these things must happen to bring about the Lord's prophecies. Now, let's get this in Jeremiah. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51. in verse 11. Let me get that again. Jeremiah chapter 51 in verse 11. It says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord 𝐤𐤌𐤅𐍍 has raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. See, that's why you hear things like Putin is making threats. He's making all these different threats. This is not because it's his will. This is not because he's in control. All of these things are happening because the Lord is moving all of the pieces. See, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He controls it. It goes wherever he wills. All of these kings on the earth, all of these different leaders are being controlled by the Lord 𝐤𐤌𐤅𐍍. And as the scripture said, he raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. See, the Medes used to occupy that land over there in Russia. So the Medes here is talking about the Russians. For his device is against Babylon, to destroy it, talking about them nuclear missiles. Make the bright arrows, those are talking about the nuclear missiles. See? And Babylon, this is definitely not talking about ancient Babylon. This is talking about Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America. It says, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, 𝐤𝐤𝐿, the vengeance of his temple. So the Lord is angry. So the Lord is coming back angry. And he putting the spirit on all these nations, specifically the Russians, because they're going to be shooting most of the nukes on this place. So the Lord is controlling everything. And as we can see, everything is setting up. So hey, for all the ones out there who's saying, hey, well, you know, I don't think it's going to happen. I think that they're going to come to terms. They're going to come to peace. Well, you're sadly mistaken. The prophecy said that he said it's already written there's going to be a third world war. It's already written it's going to be a nuclear third world war. And that third world war is going to be devastating. It's going to completely wipe out Babylon the Great. Now let's close out here. Let's close out here in Isaiah chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 17. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 17. And this is in the book of Isaiah, and I just read in Jeremiah. Isaiah 13, verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. And we already know that's talking about the Russians. The Lord has been stirring them up. It says, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. See, they don't. Hey, when the Lord put the spirit on you to take action, you're not gonna regard. The spirit gonna be on them so heavy, they're not gonna regard. They don't care about no silver, no gold. See, the will of the Lord must happen. See, his words will not come back void. So if he said he going to stir up these Russians and they going to fire nukes on this place, then it has to happen. It says their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, and their eyes shall not spare children. So they're not going to have no pity. Oh, the babies, oh, the lady and all of these different things and the kids and the babies, they're not going to give a damn. The spirit is going to be on them heavy. They're going to execute and do whatever they got to do, just like all these other nations. They're all going to do what they think they need to do, okay, to survive. And ultimately, it's all leading to that third world war. Verse 19, and Babylon, a.k.a. America, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And you should know, Sodom and Gomorrah, all those 5 wicked cities, they were committing all kind of abominations and doing all kind of sinful acts. See, the Lord destroyed that place. He rained down fire and brimstone on Sodom and Gomorrah. He completely burned them place, those cities up. They're completely burned down. And this really did happen. They have evidence of sulfur in the soil over there, showing you that the Lord really brought that fire and he burnt that place up. Well, that's what's about to happen to Babylon the Great. He getting ready to rain thermonuclear fire down on this place. See, when these countries launch those missiles, that's all it's going to be. It's going to be fire, death, and destruction from one end of this country to the next, to the left. From the east to the west, it's going to be completely taken out. And that's the end game. See, because the Lord is getting ready to set up the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be right here on the earth. So this wicked kingdom can't stand simultaneously with the righteous kingdom of heaven, which is 𝐤𝐻𝑆h's kingdom. See? And we're going to share in that as joint heirs. So these things have to happen. You want to get to the kingdom, you want to be in the kingdom of heaven, then all these prophecies must come to pass. The MOTB must happen. See, that thing that they want to put into you, so you can't buy or sell without it unless you want to be a part of their system. That has to happen. And all the ones that take it, the Lord is going to destroy. See? Jacob's trouble has to come to pass. A time on earth that's never been. It's going to be so bad out here. The Lord going to have to he's going to have to speed up the time. And on top of that, he's going to give certain men spiritual power. And he's going to have angels out here. So certain brothers going to have spiritual power for protection and defense. And some men and others of us, we're going to have angels all around us. See, angels protecting all our moves and where we're going, directing us and guiding us. That's what you want. You want to be of the elect, because the danger and the evils that the Lord is about to bring is going to be on another level. And nobody's going to be ready for it. But at least through the Spirit, the Lord has warned us, and He's gave us these prophecies so we can understand what's about to happen before it happened. And we telling you through the Spirit and power of 𝐤𝐻 all these prophecies are going to come to pass, leading to that third world war, which is going to be nuclear. And then once it pops off, 𝐤𝐻 is coming back with the host of angels. He's going to destroy this wicked world, this wicked kingdom, and he's going to deliver his elect. So, this news with these ships being brought over there to Cuba and all of these things, positioning, just more and more signs we're at the end. And with that, I hope that you were edified. This has been the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.